Hello and welcome back to episode 36 of the MotoGP Career mode. Small bit of housekeeping before we start. I have transferred a few more men and women over to the traction control, as I've pinpointed that I have made a small error, as you will see by the previous episode, the kind of filler episode of the Catalonia test, that the biggest issue I have with the bike is the power delivery not being smooth, and I think I went for the wrong bike in pre-season because I obviously had a back-to-back test with a slightly less aggressive engine characteristic and I felt better on it. So what I'm going to have to do is try and probably fiddle around with gearing to make the bike a bit more progressive on corner exit and not snappy, and just try and improve my traction control so I have a better traction control to catch slides. And that's probably where I'll have to try and make up my time. Other than that, the bike is lacking just in a few other areas. Just I could do with a bit more stability under braking. Now I'm quite good under braking, but the bike does like kicking sideways and it kind of wants to move. It's a bit, again now engine wise, it's a bit thirsty on the juice. But other than that, it's not too bad. Again, now obviously we'll see. We mightn't even be with My World of Aprilia next year. It's all up in the air where we'll even be. But time will tell where we end up. But that is all the housekeeping for today's episode. So let's get into qualifying. So here we are in Q1. It's been another pretty much textbook weekend. It's been identical to every other weekend. We've struggled for pace in Friday. And here we are in qualifying 1 now. And it's going to be tricky to make it out. Once again, I'll probably qualify 18, 19, 20 at that area and probably finish just within the points. That's how I predict the weekend and the race especially going. I don't think this is a great track for the bike. Now it does look like Aleix Espargaro has very good pace. We'll see more from him in the race. But me and Salvadori are pretty much nowhere to be seen. Yeah, unfortunately, everything I learned from the test, I haven't really been able to do anything around here with it. This is a bit of a weird track, I will add. You spend so much of the time on the left side of the tyre, not massive heavy braking zones, all the corners flow into each other. So it's a different track than really I can test the bike at. But we come up to the line for our qualifying time and it's 19.7. And unfortunately that keeps us 9th in the session. Rossi and Petrucci go through, so it's going to be 19th in the race. You can see Miller on a soft is the one thing again. Aleix on a medium and a soft front. So most people have gone for the medium rear. I've gone for double mediums. Don't feel the need for a medium or hard front. It's colder conditions. It would feel horrendous in the race. But here we are anyway now for the race. Aleix is on the front of row 2, qualified P4, so watch out for him. Maybe he could get our first podium of the season for Aprilia, even though we're not directly in the same team, we're on the same bike. 5 red lights and away we go in P19. We got a pretty average start. Miguel Oliveira on the inside makes up the inside. Small bit of contact between me and Vinales. He tags the back pole, which makes me have to sit up. I switch the inside for turn 2, which will put me on the outside then for Omega corner here. So I'm going to run all around the outside. As it looks like there's a crash up ahead. It's Rossi, unfortunately, who's drifted into the path of one of the KTMs. That could have been Danilo Petrucci. It looks like Rossi on ride and they touched and boom, they both went. So I'm up into P14 with Jorge Martin just ahead of me, so there is progress to be made early in the race. But yeah, I'm not too sure how far up the grid we can get. Once again though, I do reckon the pace in the race isn't going to be anything scary. I think we will be able to hold our own as we run off track. That's surely going to be a track limits warning. I actually kept out far enough that it kind of gave me away, but I've ran massively wide down into the Saxon curve. And there's a crash behind. It looks like there's 2 Hondas down and maybe possibly a KTM. So maybe someone ran wide and came back for a late apex. But yeah, it doesn't look good. Now, cross line 23.4 for the opening lap. Quite a far bit back already. We're hard into the brakes. Big stop. We're going to run it slightly deeper. We actually managed to pull it down for a nice apex, late apex. We kind of go around the outside of Paul Espargaro. That wasn't the plan. And now we've managed to get a switch back on Frankie Morbidelli. So 2 overtakes and 2 corners on lap 2. An 11 lap race here today, so quite a long race. My hands will be killing me from going left by the end of this. Now we're up behind now Marc Marquez and Jorge Martin. Marc Marquez, of course, the Saxon ring specialist. So maybe if we could just follow him through, if we could. Get up on the curb there a small bit. So yeah, decent start, not too bad. Don't know how, I'm still a bit uncomfortable on this bike. But that's going to be a track limit warning. No, again we got away with it. And these are crucial because it's quite easy to track extend to this track. So that's going to be one. Yeah, there we go. Finally got our first one. Let's come down again to Saxon. We are well wide again. Got squared for a late apex, but we're going to lose time to the guys ahead. Now we do have the chance to move teams. So every team at the moment is interested in me. So we do have the possibility to move team if that's an option. I'd like for people to comment down below. I get usually about 70 to 100 views of kind of constant viewers. I'd like people to comment down below if you'd like me to join a certain team. I'm liking the idea of staying in a custom team just so I can play with liveries, do special liveries, because the game doesn't allow you to do that with factory teams. But yeah, be interesting to see what other people think. I like this Aprilia team. I just think the livery with the my world, or yeah, my world, it's a bit, it sticks too much to the white. I can't really customize it that much, so I feel like the liveries are never going to be great. But we are dropping ever so slightly back from Marc Marquez. It's currently Jack Miller in the lead. As I said at the start of the race, he is on softs. Miller, Zarco and Rins. So this really isn't a Ducati track, but they are making it work. No sign of Aleix Espargaro in the top 3, but we're in P13. We've made up 6 positions in the opening couple of laps, and we seem to be actually taking, again as per usual in the heavy braking zones, we pull back time. Now come up now to start lap 4, and we're gaining on Marc Marquez. So it's really unusual to see Bagnaia back this far actually. So we actually get really up to the back from him. He's on a harder tyre as well, so maybe he just doesn't have the performance over it, because usually he is lightningly quick. He's the leader of the championship. But he's kind of wrong way there. We're going to square it off, power 3. We're going to see what we can do up to the line. Maybe get him into turn 1. They are pretty weak on the brakes. Maybe just stick it on the inside. He's going to run it slightly wide. Ducati didn't want to turn. We're going to cut to the inside using the nimbleness of my Aprilia RSGP to get that position on. So once again now we've gained another position and we're back in behind Marquez and Jorge Martin. Jorge Martin looks to have very good pace because Marquez is just kind of following him. Doesn't look like he can pass him yet. But no, Aleix is on the podium. So this bike isn't terrible around here. My pace 18.9 is the fastest lap, and I've done a 19.5, so I'm about half a second off, which is not too bad for a 1 minute 20 lap. Not great, but not too bad. Marquez again now just stretches out through these long corners in the middle of the track. So Marquez has passed and gapped Martin ever so slightly. Can we get close to him? Obviously Zarco and Paul Espargaro are behind me after their crashes respectively, and it's now Aleix Espargaro in the 2nd place, so it's a Suzuki 1-3 and an Aprilia in 2nd, so completely unexpected grid. So can we get into the top 10? We'll have to pass Martin and Marquez but they seem to be making steady progress up ahead. We make a lot of time up into turn 1. Maverick Vinales is up next ahead of Martin. I think he went for a soft rear as well, so he's probably struggling. He does have the fastest lap, so he's probably maybe spent his tyre ever so slightly. because he is now in P9, and Martin looks like he's just going to turn that Ducati underneath him. He just picks up mid-corner, and he's managed to get the move on. Great little move there from Martin, forcing Maverick out wide. So now we have to get a good tight entrance here and make sure we get a good line down into this very tricky turn 8. Now we get a great run back up the hill on Maverick. Can we pass him maybe into the waterfall? I'm actually going to go for it now. Again, he just doesn't seem maybe to have the edge grip. And flick it over. I presume he's going to be there. The small bit of contact. Run off track again. Are we going to get another track limit? So I know we get away with another one, and that is P10. Now Miller, the early race leader, who was on software. You can see that rear end of that Desmond Dici GP21 just starting to pump around. It's not a track you want a software tires. You see I got a great run out of the last corner, but actually densely double shift, which ruins my run of small, but we'll go to the inside. I'm much better on the brakes, and we get the move done. So now we're in P9. Martin and Marquez up ahead. So Martin has managed to pass Marquez once again, probably in the scuffle with Vinales, that Martin has maybe used that to his advantage to repass Marquez. But it looks like these guys' pace are pretty much equal with mine. Don't know if I'll even be able to get close enough to pass these guys, because all race they've been ahead of me and they have pulled away in certain parts of the track. Half a lap to go. Marquez is just there. It's really going to be maybe down into Saxon Curve, but they get such great run through turn 10 and through 11. I don't know how they keep it on track. I'm pretty wide through 11 anyway. I pick it up. I'm half a second behind. I'm not really going to make that up here. Do close in ever so slightly, and actually get a great run through there, taking second gear for the first time all race. Going to happen to use the outside curb using small momentum, and we're not going to be able to make a move in the last corner. It's going to be a solid P9. It's going to be points once again from 10 positions made up at the track. That's quite difficult to pass. My rider is delighted with that punch to chest, and he should be. Elite Espargaro gets the first Aprilia podium of the year. In 19.1 I set, so I was actually faster than everyone ahead of me. Who did get the fast lap? I think it was Maverick. Yeah, so I almost matched Maverick, who's the fastest man. I was quicker than the winner, Rossi Miguel, and it was Ico Lecono who had that collision at the start with Valentino. So unfortunately all of them did not finish. Petrucci getting P4, I just noticed. And Francesca leads the championship by 15 points. Elate jumps up into P9. I think he's past us now. So there's some big gaps. There's 22 points between the top three. Maverick then in fourth, nearly 40 back. And then Miller just behind him. And then comes the two Suzukis and the rookie of Jorge Martin. And then followed up by the first of the Aprilias, Elate Espargaro. It'll be interesting now when I scroll down in a second to see where I am. So I'm just 1 point behind the lead Aprilia, which is Elate Espargaro. Mark is slightly behind, and so is Miguel Oliveira. So in 10th in the championship. We're not doing horrendously bad. It's pretty good. I'm again now just taking everything as it comes. The bike isn't as good as I'd like. I unfortunately have tried putting longer gears to get maybe a better exit out of a lot of corners, but it hasn't really worked. Or we stayed P8 in the championship, in the team championship, and I think we'll probably drop down to 3rd or 4th in the constructors. As we see, yeah, our P4 are actually 1 point behind Suzuki, so we're doing quite well. We're ahead of Honda and KTM, which is mad. So P8, P13 respectively for our riders, so points for both of them, which is good. But I'm going to leave that there for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, don't forget to comment down below if you want me to join any team in particular. I have enough reputation where every team is interested in me, so it won't be of issues for me to join. But thanks again for watching. There's been some great support on the series so far, and I really feel we're getting into the meat of the GP season now, developing the Aprilia and getting some good results. But like and subscribe for more content and all that. Thanks once again for watching. I'm going to leave it here for today. Up next is Assen. Great track. It's going to be very tricky on a GP bike to wrestle around. One of the most physical tracks in the world, but it's fast, it's flowing, it's going to be fun. Maybe even a bit of bad weather could spice it up. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there for the final time. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you in the not so distant future. Take care. Bye bye.